All right. My name is Kislam. I'm a graduate student coach at the Communication Center. Um, Today, I would like to talk about crisis communication and organizational perspective. I chose this particular topic because I thought this is going to be helpful for our Communication Center as we get some students from this course. Actually, this course requires students to present their presentations online or offline. Alright, so basically, I'm going to talk about what is crisis is, and then I'm going to also talk about who are those stakeholders of an organizations. Then I'm going to move to 3 stages of crisis communication, which is one is pre-crisis stage, which starts even before the crisis. The second one is the during crisis, the actual crisis period, and the last one is the post or recovery stage. Alright, so what is crisis communication? What is crisis actually? The crisis is not something negative itself as we perceive, and even crisis is not something positive itself, but it depends how we are handling the crisis. The outcome completely depends on how we are handling the crisis. According to Combs, she's a strategic communication professor of Central Florida State University, said the crisis is a significant threat to operations that can have negative consequences if not handled properly. So itself is not something negative. If we are unable to handle this gonna be something negative. So crisis may include a natural disaster. It may cause a crisis for an organization, how they're handling the natural disaster. The second one, industrial accidents. Sometimes one accident could be a crisis for an organization. So it depends how the organization, it actually public will see how people are facing it, how organizational administratives are facing the accident. Could be a product failure. This happens all the time. Some products they just come in the market and sometimes they become just fail. And sometimes also crisis could happen because of public perceptions for some reasons. Probably by their activities. Probably it may cause by the other component of crisis. Alright, so who are the stakeholders? So we get to know what is crisis is, and we understand this crisis actually itself is not a threat. It depends like how we are handling. So who are the stakeholders? Stakeholders of an organization actually those people who has direct or indirect interest in the organizations. It could be investors. Definitely they have interest. It could be customers. Customers has a direct interest with the organization, like how they're working. Say when I'm buying from something from a business, particular business company, and they have some scam, they have some say wrong thing, bad thing. Definitely I would consider sometimes say when I'm gonna buy something. Could be regulators, the vendors. Stakeholders could be corporate partners. Definitely they're concerned what's going on. Another one, employees are one of the important stakeholders of an organization's crisis communications. And the opinion leaders also they form say when an article or in television talk shows, the opinion leaders, or in fact our leaders can can minimize, can also increase the crisis situations through their leadership opinion. So what is crisis management? Crisis management is a critical functions of an organization. Actually, it's like the management of, how they're going to handle, how one organization going to handle the crisis. Definitely is crisis management by the definitions. So if we fail to manage the crisis properly, it may gonna lead to reputation damage. It can cause trust breach. It can cause public outcry. It can cause economic loss if we fail to handle the crisis properly. There are 3 stages of crisis communications. As I said, pre-crisis stage, which starts even before the crisis, and the second one, crisis period. The third one is post-crisis, which is recovery stage. I'm going to just explain each stage a little bit. Pre-crisis stage, which is like the stage set for crisis to begin, or seeds of the crisis are planted. Warning indicators begin to develop at this stage. Signs may not be obvious at first, but it may appear. For example, sometimes we may see the caution we have next a stop sign, but some stuff we don't have any cautions, right? So it's not obvious, but it's possible that we have some warning signs before we go to actually moving to the crisis. Pre-crisis preparation actually include knowing the risk. So as an organization, as a communicator of crisis, we have to know what are the risks we may have. If I am a crisis communicator at the university, what are the crises could be possible? If I am a public relation officer in an organization, it's a business, trade, and a multinational company, so we have to identify what the risk includes. Then when we know the risk, we have to have a management plan. Then definitely not necessarily it's going to be enough just to have a plan, but we need to test if the plan works. So this is actually actual phase of crisis. When an organization fails to recognize or deal with a constructive manner, they proceed to actual stage. Basically, organizational damage starts here. So what we need to do in this stage, we need to respond the crisis as quickly as possible. We need to express the concern may come. Then definitely we have to be accurate. Otherwise, that's going to create public outcry more. Inconsistent, which is very important. If we deliver some information that doesn't even match with our speech, the next speech, so it's going to cause more crisis, and it may also cause trust breach. So next time, whenever we're going to say something, public will not be believing us. The last one, and very important for crisis communications, we need to incorporate in employees, because employees are those people who knows the organizational functions very well. Bentley and his colleagues, they conducted a study in 2018. They say post-crisis recovery stages include, they divided the post-crisis recovery response into 2 parts. One is like some words, like the speech of delivery, and some are behaviors. So in the word, we need to acknowledge, so we need to acknowledge the responsibility. So it's not just enough to say, no, we are not responsible. We have to acknowledge this. We are sorry. We need to apologize. Then offer an explanation. Then definitely, some valid reasons why it's happening. May we have faulty work, may but some causes may appear, right? Then stakeholders, what actions they can take to protect themselves. Behaviors include like corrective actions, mitigate harms the stakeholders, whatever the damage is caused. Like if we have a product that's may cause health problems, so how are we gonna mitigate this harm, this potential harms, and offer a reparation. For example, if somebody buy a product, for a chair, for example, so if it causes the problem, so we may offer something to see what they want we apologize and we would like to offer some reparations. Then prevent recurrence. Then we have to promise, we have to make sure this is not going to happen. This you are valuable customers to us, and definitely in future we will be making corrections in this regard. Express genuine remorse, not like this word. Because be real, acknowledge their worth, valuable customers, affirm their values, empathize with their sufferings, and request another chance since you have been serving the community for a long time. It's never happened, so it's okay just to ask them, hey, please give us another chance to do our work, to serve you. Provide compensation. Foster personal communication is always better. Communication from a specific person. We need to assign a specific person to address this communication challenge. Address stakeholders appropriately. So we understand this. Our stakeholders is different groups who have direct or indirect interest with us. So we need to address them properly. And invite contact. It's always good to ask people if you have any concern, if you have any suggestion, if you have any feedback, please contact with us. Thank you very much for listening. I have a reference page what I included in my presentation. Thank you again.